Hello everyone, welcome back to Al Chapo Sports, everyone's least favorite sports show where we do the thinking so you don't have to. Today, week 2 has concluded and we're going to run down our top 10 of this week. Starting off right away with number 10, the Saints. So they're 2-0, which will land you in the top 10 list, and they have a divisional win, which again will give you a little bit of more legitimacy in my eyes because you only have 6 divisional games per year. You need those wins to get into the playoffs. The Saints rather just won a divisional game tonight, Monday night against Carolina, and while both their wins were extremely close affairs, they are still wins, which lands them here at 10. It's because of how close both these games were that they aren't any higher. So moving right on to number 9, we've got the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys also 2-0, but they're this low because they have 2 wins over 2 really bad teams. The Jets themselves are not a bad team, or at least they wouldn't be if they had Aaron Rodgers. That would be a very legit win. That would bump the Cowboys up quite a bit. But without Aaron Rodgers, the Jets suck. The New York Giants absolutely suck. Even though that's a divisional win for the Cowboys, I can't rate them too highly because I just don't know how good they are. They've only beat on the small kids in class, so to say. So that lands them at the number 9 spot. Moving onwards, we've got the Detroit Lions. Detroit had an amazing showing week one, against the Chiefs, the reigning Super Bowl champions. They dethroned them in the very first game of the season, only to lose this week. Now, they did lose to a Seattle team that I think is pretty good, so I'm not holding it against them too much, especially with how close this game was at times. But yes, Detroit, number 8. That's as high as I can get you right now with the loss on your record. Your win was very high caliber. Your loss knocks you down a few spots. Moving on to Seattle, the team that beat Detroit. So they beat the Lions, who were very, very much hyped going into this season. They're probably the most hyped for most improved team this season from last year, the Lions, I mean. So Seattle beating them, that just carries a lot of weight. And I don't know if I said that Seattle was 2-0. If I did, that was a mistake. They lost week 1 to the Rams. It's kind of the opposite effect of the Lions placement. The Lions had a great week 1 win and then a loss week 2. The Seahawks had a loss week 1 and now a really great win in week 2. So that lands them at the number 7 spot. Anyway, I feel like I'm getting tongue twisted, so let's just move on to the number 6, I think, if I've been counting right. The Buccaneers. Nobody saw this coming. Everyone preseason thought the Bucs were going to be absolute garbage. No one was confident in the Baker Mayfield pickup. Nobody was confident that these guys would do anything. Everyone wrote them off as the worst team in the worst division of the NFL, and they are 2-0. No divisional wins, but they are cleaning house in the NFC North, apparently, because they beat a Bears team who had quite a good amount of hype going into this season, which I didn't buy for a second. I knew they were garbage, but they were still hyped. And then they beat the Vikings, who had very minimal hype. They were a playoff team last year, but they did have some hype with the hiring of Brian Flores. And Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield, schooled them both. So yeah, congrats, kudos to you, Baker. I'm hoping the best for your career. I've always rooted for you. You're an underdog kind of guy, and everyone loves their underdogs. But anyway, moving on from the number 6 Bucs, we've got the number 5 Chiefs. They lost week 1. We all know this story by now. But they came back and won big time this week, defeating Jacksonville. Jacksonville was in my top 10 last week, if you were watching. If you weren't watching, what are you doing? Pay attention, man. But yeah, the Jaguars are a good team. I think they're probably the favorite to win the South of the AFC, and for Kansas City to just make it look easy this week lands them this spot. Moving on to, I don't know what number we're on anymore, guys. Bear with me. I really need to number these slides or something. But moving on, we've got the Eagles. The Eagles, 2-0. They beat the Vikings in Thursday Night Football. What to say about that game? There were a lot of mistakes made on both sides of the ball, especially by the Vikings. I think the Vikings could have won that game had they been better about ball security and maybe not fumbling into the end zone for a touchback. But regardless, the Eagles 2-0. Congrats to you guys. Yeah, you land in this spot in our top 10 ranking. That was number 4, I believe. Moving on to number 3. The Baltimore Ravens. They are 2-0. They beat the Texans last week. Oh, hi. Are you going to help me break down this? Yeah. Let's see. They beat the Texans week 1. The Texans are not an impressive team. It's not a very impressive win, but a win's a win, and they did it in convincing fashion. Only to move on this week to beat the Cincinnati Bengals, who are one of the most hyped up teams in the league because of Joe Burrow and that offense that can just do incredible things. So for the Ravens to go into Cincinnati and beat them, I mean, you got to give it to them. That's a divisional win. They're 2-0. They beat a team everyone thinks is going to do very good this season, being the Bengals, even though I think they suck and I hate them. So yeah, kudos to you, Baltimore, on your number 3 spot. Moving on, the Saints. The Saints. Guys, don't mind me. I'm reading my notes, and sometimes I'm a little dyslexic. But that's why you watch this show, because I'm stupid and I don't know what I'm talking about. The 49ers. The 49ers just absolutely dogged Pittsburgh week 1, and now they beat the Rams, who I had in the top 10 last week. And that's a divisional win. It was also a pretty solid win against a solid team. The Steelers kind of suck. I mean, let's be honest about it. So beating up on them isn't that impressive, but the Rams did look pretty good last week. So for them to get beat by San Francisco this week, it just elevates them. It's not only that you win. It's not even that you lose sometimes. It's the quality of your wins. And San Fran has very good quality wins right now. But not as good as this next team. Moving on to number 1, we've got the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins beat they beat the Patriots this week. That's a divisional win. The Patriots, I think, are a pretty solid football team. They're playing good. Even though they haven't won yet, you can tell there's a lot of talent on that team. So the Dolphins, to just get it done, kudos to them. They did it in Foxborough, and they've just looked dominating in both their games. Week 1 against the Chargers, who are also another very good team, they absolutely showed out. Tua is playing his best football yet. And yeah, they have the strongest wins so far in the NFL, beating both the Chargers, a very good team, a very solid team, that if they got their act together could be in the top 10, and the Patriots, who are also playing really good ball. So that is it. That is my top 10. Let me know down below in the comments what you think. Are my picks right? Are they wrong? Are they out of order? Tell me your top 10. Tell me how stupid I am. Tell me about how much I fumbled my words in this video. Just leave a comment, like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube things, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.